last night was one of the most patriotic nights that I have ever seen. I do not like Donald Trump as a speaker. He rambles, he gets off topic, but I thought last night the State of the Union address, which included the United States hockey team, was fantastic. And speaking of the United States hockey team, what the hell? I mean, how about we grow up? The United States hockey team did something that every team dreams of. They won in dramatic style, and they enhanced their sport. And in the United States hockey team's case, they enhanced our nation. They brought everybody together, but you knew what happened. You knew what had to happen. They took a phone call from the president, and now the jackasses that have never played, never coached, have no idea. The fat women of the liberal side are losing their mind because, well, they took a call from, wait for it, again, the president of the United States. I don't give a damn who you are. I don't give a damn what you have done. In my way of thinking, if the president of the United States calls you, I don't give a damn if he's a Republican, a Democrat. I don't give a damn if he's an independent, a libertarian. I don't care who he is, a chipmunky. I don't care. Chipmunk. What am I talking about? I'm taking the phone call. And if you don't like it, you can suck it. But the liberals have lost their mind. The losers on the left are angry that the United States hockey team not only took the phone call, but they showed up in the Oval Office taking pictures. They did it gleefully, happily. And then they were the guest of honor at the, wait for it, State of the Union. I mean, the sickos on the left, the ugliest human beings. Seriously, I know I don't look great, but there's an inner joy to me that people see. These people on the left, I don't know, Elon and whoever these other crazy women and men are, they're just the ugliest human being ever. See Maxine Waters. She needs to iron her face. But anyway, everybody's mad. The hockey team, what? Showed up where? The State of the Union? And you're pissed? You're an idiot. You're as ugly inside as you are outside. It's time for grown-ups to act like grown-ups. It's time for people we are paying great salaries to, who are siphoning that salary or turning that salary into, I don't know, 1,000% gains in the stock market, better than anybody ever. It's time for them to grow the living hell up. They brag about ripping up speeches. They brag about walking out. They had their little sideshow that literally nobody showed up for. It's time for them to grow the hell up. It's okay if you want to stand up. Fetterman did. You'll be all right. And there will be a time, and the time will be soon, where liberals in Congress realize this ain't working, man. This ain't working. It's time to do two things. Become a great candidate and work for us, the people, instead of bitching, whining, and moaning about a hockey team that went out and did something absolutely incredible. Here's the United States hockey team showing up at the State of the Union address. Did you see the douchebags on the left there? They only stood up when they realized, hey, I better not. Why wouldn't you stand up for the United States hockey gold medal winning team that captured a game in such dramatic fashion that people all around the country, black, white, green, purple, man, whatever, celebrated? But you couldn't stand up. Why? Because Donald Trump was bringing them in. You're an idiot. And I don't understand, worse than the people that didn't stand up or begrudgingly did, are the people that vote for these clowns. It's astounding to me. So anyway, the United States hockey team's a little fed up with it too. Here's what Jack Hughes, the stud, the star, had to say about people upset with the team going to the State of the Union. Here's Jack Hughes.
Are you guys excited to be going to the White House and meeting Trump?
Yeah, we're excited. I mean, anytime, like, everything is so political. We're athletes. We're so proud to represent the U.S. And when you get the chance to go to the White House, meet the president, you know, we're proud to be Americans, and, you know, that's so patriotic. So no matter what your views are, we're super excited to go to the White House tomorrow and just be a part of that.
How do you feel about the women not going?
They got busy schedules too. I mean, I know we're getting like everyone's giving us backlash for all the social media stuff today, but it's so negative. People are so negative out there. and they're trying to find a reason to just like put people down and make something out of almost nothing. But you know, our relationship with them over the course of being in the Olympic Village, I think we were so tight with their group and our group after we won the gold medal.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, what the hell? The Hughes family keeps on winning. Here's Mama Hughes, Ellen, shutting down all the haters. Well, let me go back before I show you what Ellen is shutting down. Donald Trump made a little joke. And here's the deal with women in sports. They're ridiculous. They're insecure. They're asinine. They just are. I'm sorry. Here's the joke.
I must tell you, we're going to have to bring the women's team. You do know that.
Absolutely.
We're giving the State of the Union speech on Tuesday night. I could send a military plane or something. But if you would like to, it's the coolest night. It's the biggest.
We're in.
Yeah.
Can you pick us up in Miami on Tuesday morning?
Yeah, Tuesday morning. Close the northern border.
We'll get the cash and we'll get the military to get you guys over.
Let's go.
Boys are going to the State of the Union.
The nice thing about being president is I can tell you, you don't have to worry about the weather or land. So we don't care if it's snowing, if it's the worst blizzard, you'll be sailing through that city just like you did at the ice cream.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Now we'll do it at the White House anytime. What would really be cool, and we'll do the White House the next day, we'll just have some fun. We have medals for you guys. And we have to, I must tell you, we're going to have to bring the women's team. You do know that.
Absolutely.
I do believe I probably would be impeached, okay? But anyway, if you could work that out, I would be honored to have you. I'll introduce you to the whole...
I got it, boss. I got it.
Okay, you got it, Cash.
I'm on it.
She's doing it. I'm happy.
I'm on it.
There you go. And that caused an uproar. Why did it cause an uproar? Because women in sports are so incredibly insecure. You know, Chris Budden, I worked with Chris. She's a nice lady, but she's nondescript. You know, she's, I guess, on the sideline with guys in basketball now. I don't know. But she said this also. The next time I have a negative opinion about an athlete, I'm going to start with he's a very handsome man. That's in response to Boomer Esiason saying about this Eileen Gu that she's a very attractive woman and she's extremely bright, went to Stanford, but if you listen to her post-participation interview, she's insufferable. So this little sideline girl for ESPN says, well, the next time I have a negative opinion about a male athlete, I'm going to start with he's a very handsome man. Women are insane in sports. They are. They're insanely insecure. It's unbelievable to me. Every little slight. I'm old enough to remember when Sarah Spain and Cassidy Hubbard had a radio show on ESPN. Or maybe Cassidy was helping Sarah Spain. I don't know. And they had a Gonzaga player named Dan Dickow on. And Spain talked about, boy, you have great hair. I'd really love to rub my hands through your hair. And I'm driving into ESPN. I'm like, damn, imagine a dude saying that. But women are so out of their mind sensitive. It's unbelievable. Except for Ellen Hughes, the mother of Jack Hughes. She understands why, because she's actually been in sports. Chris Budden hadn't been in shit. She couldn't tell you whether a basketball is blown up or stuffed. It's unbelievable the difference. Here is Hughes' mom reacting to that little joke that made everybody so crazy.
Of the United States, and he was inviting them to the State of the Union and all that. And then he said a comment that gained attention. He said, I must tell you, we're going to have to bring the women's team. You know that? And the room kind of laughs. And he added, I do believe I probably would be impeached. He was sort of joking through this. But you're cheering on both teams. How did that comment land for you?
Well, I think at the end of the day, it's just about the country. And the moment that these players, both the men and women, can bring so much unity to a group and to a country. People that cheered on that don't watch hockey. People that have politics on one side or on the other side. And that's all both the men's team and the women's team care about. If you could see what we see from the inside and the men and women sharing, dorms dorm rooms and halls and flex floors, and the camaraderie and the synergy and the way the women cheered on the men and the way the men cheered on the women. Yeah. That's what it's all about. And the other things they cannot control. They care about humanity, they care about unity, and they care about the country.
Totally. And don't you love that Ellen's horse from all that stuff?
Yeah, women are ridiculous. I mean, they're getting a bigger voice, and I'm glad. But if you're going to have a bigger voice, you got to have a little bit of sack to you. You know, not everything is, oh, my God, that's okay. No, seriously, my wife, she's the one that puts me on this stuff. Again, we saw this little quote by this Chris Budden, and she's like, okay, wouldn't a guy like that? Yeah. Would a guy give two shits about Chris Budden's opinion? They would say, who's Chris Budden? But women have lost their mind. Well, it's not only that, but it's also if Donald Trump says white, it's got to be black. If he says black, no, he meant white. You cured cancer. Why didn't you cure AIDS? We know what's going on here. Hell, everybody knows what's going on here, and it's absurd. How about you liberal children just simply stop with the stupid? You're making yourself look idiotic. Trump's speech last night was great. The ending was phenomenal. You know who had to chime in? The effeminate males of the Dan Le Batard show. They're so sad all the time about everything going on. Actually, if Le Batard wasn't sad, no one would ever, ever, ever know about him. Give me a sports opinion that Dan Le Batard or any of the little pussies on his show have ever had that anybody says anything other than, Here's Le Batard and his little show. They're mad because, well, the USA hockey team is political.
As long as the players realize that this is an immensely unpopular president with half of the nation, and so going to this to serve as a willing pawn is controversial. And as long as they realize that and accept it, then I'm all for it.
They don't realize it. Like, that's the part in all of this is that they're constantly saying, this whole group is constantly saying, keep politics away from this. Keep politics away from this. We don't want this to be political. You welcomed it in. You welcomed politics literally into your celebration and bringing Kash Patel into your locker room or not denying him access. Not that would have been a very popular opinion amongst those guys, and maybe they didn't want that getting out. But you're making sort of a show with him right at the front as the biggest celebration.
But isn't that where someone part of the management team of Team USA needs to say something like, if you think one of the players for Team USA is going to stand up there and tell Kash Patel not to come in the dressing room and celebrate with them, you're nuts. You're nuts. No one's going to do that.
I'm sure they were all brought to it, and I'm not even saying that they needed to. I'm saying when politics enters the arena, you are now inherently political. And when you accept an invitation to a State of the Union that is going to be a State of the Union that rants and raves against immigrants, against members of the LGBTQ community, against all sorts of different people, it is going to be a disaster tonight. And you're going to have all of these hockey players sitting there, maybe for the first time, realizing, what did we get ourselves into?
And he couldn't have been more wrong because they're all wrong. You see his hands? No, Trump didn't bash anybody. Trump bashed liberals that these idiots, these clowns, these pussies, they promote. No, it was a great night for every one of those hockey players. Can you imagine the day that they had? And it makes these never played, never coached little bitches, it makes them so upset. And they can't see through their own hate of Donald Trump. They can't see through their own hate of the United States of America. They can't see through it. They can't. And they couldn't have been more wrong. There was no hate thrown at the LGBT community, whatever the fuck they're calling themselves now. There was no hate for that. There was hate for the Somali pirates that have come into our country and stolen my, yours, everybody's tax money. There was disdain for Nancy Pelosi and her ilk for ripping us off for insider trading, something you and I would never, ever get away with. There was praise for Erica Kirk, whose husband tragically died at the hands of a coward having to shoot him that these guys would support. There was praise for the family of the young woman that was viciously stabbed to death, all of which these guys on the Le Batard show were too much pussies to stand up for. No. This guy couldn't have got it more wrong. He said it a little forcefully, and then his hand went up. Yeah, well, suck it. You couldn't have been more wrong. Now, today, and you guys can watch. I haven't watched. I used to have to listen to Le Batard because he was the guy that was led into our show per the contract with ESPN when I was on another station. But the truth of the matter is they were dead wrong, and you will not hear them say that. Trump's speech was full of hope. Trump's speech was effing awesome. And these little pussies, these little effeminate males, go do yourself a favor. Get your support dog, grab some Play-Doh, go do yourself a favor, put a tampon in, and go sit in the corner. The entire group. The entire freaking group. Or man up for once in your life, and guess what? Just say you were wrong. You're wrong. You know, it's funny. Guy said to me, well, Bobby Knight wouldn't have had Kash Patel in. He wouldn't have. He'd have had Kash Patel speaking in the locker room. He'd have had Kash Patel speaking before the game. He'd have dumped a beer on Kash Patel's head. Shut up, all of you. You just don't know because you've never been in the arena. You're sad about never having been in the arena. You find little effeminate ways to express yourself. Fuck off. There you go. That's my stance, and I've just got to put $10 in the swear jar because, quite frankly, I'm supposed to be giving up swearing. Hey, you enjoying the show? Of course you are. By the way, tonight we go live. It'll be raucous. I'm smoking cigars. I got a new smoking jacket. I told Sean, you better bring a damn cigar tonight because we're chilling. 6 o'clock right there. Don't At Me with Dan Dakich. Goes live. All you got to do is go to youtube.com/@Don'tAtMe with Dan Dakich, and you bring a cigar, baby. Bring a damn cigar, and let's rock and roll and shake and bake. Yeah, I told you every day when we post a show, we're going to talk comments. Sean, nice enough to join us tonight. We're going to be live at 6 o'clock. What we got here, Sean? What's going on here?
Let's hear from Jalen Y6P, and if you have a comment, please feel free to leave it on the YouTube channel. We'll answer it tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern during the live. We'll have it all ready for everybody to have a good time. Jalen Y6P, Dan, stop lying. The Europeans can't even play defense. We see Luka Doncic completely complaining to the refs every game about not getting calls, just like Caitlin Clark does, and doesn't do anything on the defensive side of the ball. Jokic is awful on defense as well. Like, Dan, do you truly believe that Jokic could compete with the guys like Hakeem? Do you believe he could compete with the guys in the 90s and early 2000s? I think not.
Well, you're wrong. Jokic can compete with anybody. You couldn't be more wrong. Yeah, they don't play defense. Who does? I mean, the NBA is not about that. And I would think that if he needed to play defense, I think he could. And by the way, I don't know if anybody noticed, Sean, but Jokic has won a championship. Now, Jokic could compete with any of them. Look, let's be honest. What does compete really mean? I mean, Hakeem tore up some of the greatest centers of all time. Tore up Shaq, tore up Yao Ming, maybe? I don't know. Tore up Abdul-Jabbar late in his career. I mean, what are you talking about? Robert Parrish? I don't know. Of course he could compete. He's one of the greatest players of all time. Now, I get it. You're a defensive stalwart. Doncic, on the other hand, I don't like watching him play. I'm just telling you. I don't like it. But you can't deny that the Europeans are taking over basketball. And as Bobby Barack wrote in a column yesterday, we all want diversity until white guys start playing well in sports. And now all the African-American normal race baiters are going crazy. I don't know who you are, Jalen, but don't hate on the Euros, baby, just because they're in there kicking ass. And my answer is yes. You think not? I think yes. What's next, Sean?
Let's hear from El Conquistador de Amor. The NBA is becoming unwatchable, and this is coming from a diehard Hoosier region rat. No one plays D. Everyone acts the fool and think that entitlement. The NBA will never be like the 80s, 90s when Bird, Magic, Jordan, and never forget Reggie Miller. They played hard, hit you even harder, and picked yourself up with a smile because those were real men of the NBA.
Yeah, that's crap. I mean, people in the 80s and 90s thought the NBA didn't play defense then either. They thought that the NBA was better in the 50s when Bill Russell was dominating against Wilt Chamberlain. Stop it, stupid. Every era thinks they're the best. The NBA talent has never been better. The entitlement, absolutely. The immaturity, off the charts. But having said that, there is no better talent level than right now. The combination of athletic ability, size, speed, quickness, and skill has made this the most skilled NBA era ever. Simple. Go watch an old film on the NBA. Really, even before the ABA got the three-point shot or the three-point line in there. Defenses were packed in. Stop it. Now we got 7'3" guys from France drilling threes. I don't know, Sean. I get it. I'm old. You're young. Everything was better in my era. I ain't that guy, brother. I think this era of NBA basketball, while unwatchable on TV somewhat in the regular season, is fantastic in person, Sean. That's my story, big boy. All right, Sean and I will be tonight. Please, huh?
Oh, no, please. Sorry. Pardon me.
Sean and I will be with you tonight at 6 o'clock on youtube.com/@don't@me with Dan Dakich. I'm breaking out a brand new, I've only wore it once, smoking jacket. I look like Hugh Hefner. I'm not going to lie. It makes me look skinny. Even my kids said, Dad, are you on Ozempic? Hell no. I'm on vodka, exercise, and a slimming coat. Hey, by the way, Prize Picks, fantastic. Do yourself a favor. Shoot your shot with Prize Picks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right. Prize Picks is now giving you $5 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. Prize Picks makes every dunk, every dime, every board that much more exciting, so don't miss the chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. That's Prize Picks. Prize Picks is simple to play. Pick more or less on a 2 to 6 player stat projection. You get your picks right, you can cash in, pick from all your favorite sports, anything from basketball, baseball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college basketball, tennis, golf, esports, and more. Find your community at Prize Picks as well. With the new social feeds feature, you can share Prize Picks with your friends, copy lineups from winners with a single clip. Yeah. Copy lineups you like, or use them as inspiration for your own picks. You can even follow Prize Picks partners like us. Tailor fade our picks with just one click. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code Dakich to get 50 in lineups after you play your first $5. Code Dakich, get 50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. You know him, you love him, you can't get enough of him. He is Armando Salguero, our NFL head coach, joining us right now, live from downtown Indianapolis. Hey, Armando, I'm going to get right into it right here. What is the most interesting thing that people are looking for at the Combine?
Well, it depends on what people you're talking about. If you're talking about NFL teams, they're looking obviously for talent and a way to unload talent, which is a little talked about situation in that there are some bad contracts out there, Dan, and people want to get rid of them, and they want to, do you the favor of giving you an opportunity to take on their crap, making their trash, selling their trash as your treasure. So that's number one. And among those, we have Tua Tagovailoa, who the Dolphins are trying to trade. Good luck with that. Number two, agents are trying to get money for their, clients. Let's put it this way. There's a lot of agents here that are hoping to break the market, that are hoping that their clients are the highest paid at whatever position they can find. Brandon Aubrey, the kicker for the Dallas Cowboys, he's going to be the highest paid kicker. He is one of maybe 4 guys that have come to Indianapolis, or their agents have, and are telling their teams, pay me, get me some money. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to obviously convince Aaron Rodgers to come back, please. We want you. We love you. We need you.
What are you hearing about Daniel Jones? There's been a lot of talk around here about Daniel Jones and an extension to the same vein. What are you hearing?
Yeah, so he falls into that second category where his representation is feeling out multiple places. He wants to go back to Indianapolis, so there's that. The Indianapolis Colts want him to go back, so there is that. And that's where they're agreed. The issue is not desire. The issue is, on fire money. And I don't believe, what I'm hearing is that there is not going to be a hometown discount for the Indianapolis Colts. Daniel Jones wants to be here, but he wants to be here and wants to be treated, quote unquote, fairly.
Well, okay, good for him. I mean, he's a guy without a contract and an Achilles. What do you expect? Speaking of trades, and I'm gonna stay with the Colts here. Do you expect Anthony Richardson to be moved?
Yeah, he is one of the names that is being talked about as the trash for treasure thing. The Colts aren't necessarily trying to trade him, but they're open to the idea. I think they really like Riley Leonard as a backup. I think they believe that they can get something for Anthony Richardson. There is a market, believe it or not, for backup quarterbacks here. Tyson Bagent has been a name bandied about. I shouldn't say Bagent because his name is Bagent. And I should know that because there's a song about him. Secret Bagent Man. Secret Agent Man. So the Chicago Bears have been approached about him. Tanner McKee is a guy that teams have looked at kind of wantingly. All these backup quarterbacks, and they are out there. Teams are probably less inclined to get rid of them than they are, again, certain starting quarterbacks, Tua Tagovailoa, and other starting quarterbacks, Kyler Murray.
Hey, yesterday, the state legislature added to the idea that the Bears opened it up even more, that the Bears are going to move to Chicago. The Illinois legislature meets later. They're going to see the Colts, or excuse me, Indiana's proposal and have a chance to react to it through the people that run the state. What do you think is going to happen here? What do people think is going to happen with the possible move of the Bears to Hammond, Indiana?
Yeah, I talked with someone close to the Bears, and they tell me, or at least they were of this opinion yesterday, that they don't see how the Bears can have this enormous tract of land at Arlington Heights and somehow walk away from that. And, my response is, well, I don't know that they're walking away from their land. They're walking away from that Illinois legislature that isn't helping them a whole lot. And he was of the belief that ultimately something will get done. Meanwhile, Indiana, as you mentioned yesterday, their legislature passed everything that they needed to pass to make sure that the Chicago Bears become the Chicago Bears of Hammond, Indiana. And they're doing their part of the deal. It's up to the Bears to see what happens next. And tomorrow is a key day, because tomorrow the Illinois legislature will be meeting. And depending on what happens there, they're either going to show themselves to be serious about keeping the Bears or unserious.
Yeah, but it is beyond. Like, people seem to dismiss it as, well, it's a power play. They're just using Indiana. I think it's way beyond that. I'm not saying they're going. In fact, I think they probably will end up at Arlington Heights. The area there is great. I've been there numerous times. But this isn't just, hey, we're using this as a leverage play. This is a real competition. Would you agree with that?
100%. And Indiana has made that because they have been more in tune with what the Bears want to accomplish. Look, if the Indiana legislature, the way that they've acted, would be mirrored by the Illinois legislature, it wouldn't be a competition. The Bears would stay in Illinois and there would be no issue. But the wild card is not the Bears, is not Indiana. It's Illinois legislature and Illinois government. And I don't have a whole lot of, I would say, confidence that they can, number one, get together and agree on something. Number two, agree on something that gives the Chicago Bears financing for $2 billion.
Yeah. No, I agree. Illinois is in a better spot because they get to react and enhance a proposal that Indiana already put out. But you're right about that, man. I mean, history says that group getting together, not really a great chance. But hey, who knows? It is the Bears, and it is history. We had Max Crosby on our show from from the Super Bowl, and a lot of rumors. Do you believe John Spytek when he says he wants Crosby and thinks Crosby will be with the Raiders next year?
Well, you don't say that as the general manager of the Las Vegas Raiders in a vacuum, right? He didn't say that because he's trying to pitch Max Crosby. Max Crosby needs no pitching. A lot of times general managers will say things about players to kind of drive up their value and then trade them. That's not happening in the case of Max Crosby. The Raiders don't have to lift him up to move him on. So I don't believe that's what he was doing yesterday when he said Max Crosby will be a Raider in 2026. I believe Max Crosby is going to be a Raider in 2026.
Are the reports, in your opinion, true? Tom Brady is having a big play in everything going on with the Raiders, whether it's the draft, keeping Max Crosby, getting this organization on track. Is he that big a player?
100%. I mean, yeah. Look, Tom Brady has a certain panache and a certain viewpoint of the world that you get only by winning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Super Bowl rings. Yeah, that's it. 7 Super Bowl rings. He won 7 Super Bowls, and ownership believes that he acquired certain knowledge when he did that. He is in tune and in line with ownership. He is in tune and in line with Spytek, the general manager. They talk, I wouldn't say every day, but there's not a week that goes by that they don't discuss the roster and talent acquisition and what the team should look like. And so if Tom Brady doesn't like Fernando Mendoza, the Las Vegas Raiders wouldn't go and take Fernando Mendoza number 1 overall. Tom Brady does like Fernando Mendoza. And so therefore, guess what's going to happen? The Raiders are going to take Fernando Mendoza number 1 overall. Tom Brady likes talent. He values, getting after the quarterback. Max Crosby gets after the quarterback with the best of them. Does Tom Brady want that on his team? Yeah, I think he does. And so what you're seeing is obviously Tom Brady is no fool, and the Raiders are using him as a resource. And, that's not going to change anytime soon until he has a record one way or the other.
Go back to something earlier, Armando. You mentioned a couple guys. One was Kyler Murray, Tua Tagovailoa, Anthony Richardson. This is as simple as I can make it. Is it over for all 3 of those guys in the cities they are currently playing for?
It's over for Tua in Miami. He's done in Miami. They're moving on. They're turning the page. They're starting a new chapter. How else can I put it that makes the point that they're going to have a different starting quarterback?
He gone.
Yes. And, there up until yesterday, there were Dolphin fans that were hoping, well, we'll just, either trade or release Tua and we'll sign Malik Willis because he played for the Green Bay Packers and Jeff Hafley was the head coach or was the defensive coordinator in Green Bay. And general manager John Eric Sullivan was in Green Bay in the front office. So they know Malik Willis. That's not going to happen. Malik Willis is going to have people that want to sign him, and that will create competition, and that will drive up his price. And the Dolphins, after they get rid of Tua Tagovailoa, will not be in a salary cap situation where they can move on to another high-priced quarterback. It's not happening. I would say more likely than not, the Dolphins starting quarterback in 2026 will be Quinn Ewers or a lower, priced free agent after he's competed with Quinn Ewers. It's not going to be anyone that's going to, make you go, whoa, hey, this is interesting.
Oh, you're the best. Anyway, last thing before I let you go. You mentioned Mendoza. Let's say who's the number 2 pick in the draft?
Yeah, man. The New York Jets are going, who's the number 2 pick in the draft? That's what the New York Jets are going. And they're going that because I believe they have the number 2 pick. And, they blew it. They really did blow it by not being able to, get that quarterback. So they're going to be in the market for Malik Willis, or maybe they're going to be in the market for, a Kyler Murray. You know why? Because the number 2 pick in the draft is not going to be a quarterback. And it's just not. And the Jets need a quarterback. Why? Because they need to win. They had a horrible season last year. They survived. And by they, I mean, Aaron Glenn, the head coach, his staff, most of them, some of them got fired. And, general manager Doug Mucci. But what I would say to you is that they don't get a redo of bad. You don't get to stink your first year and then stink again your second year and somehow manage to get a third chance at stinking again. That's not going to happen. Aaron Glenn has to win this year. He knows it. And the way that you do that is you need to find a quarterback who is more than functional. And they didn't have that.
Is this a good quarterback draft? Is there quarterbacks that is there gonna be somebody? Next year is supposed to be the draft, right? So, I don't know.
Yeah,
tank for Arch. Suck for Arch.
Yeah. I had someone tell me yesterday here at Indy, the way teams are going to look at it, or some teams are going to look at it, is we have to be ass for Arch. So they have to be terrible.
That's it. That's
2026 to get Arch Manning in 2027.
I couldn't come up with it, but you came up with it. That's ask for Arch.
Wasn't me. I heard that yesterday from someone else. But
that's all right. That's all right. I'll give you the credit for it. Suck for luck was beautiful. Let's ask for Arch is what we're gonna. That's our rallying cry here in Indy. All right, Armando, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the time this morning.
All right, Dan.
There he goes, live from Indianapolis. This segment is brought to you by Outkick's Ultimate College Hoops Experience. It's the biggest night in college hoops, and it's coming to Indianapolis. That's right. It's the Dakich factor. Everything good happens in Indy. Outkick is sending a lucky fan and a guest straight into the building. We got you covered for an unforgettable experience. Your flights are covered. Hotel downtown covered. 2 championship tickets covered. Just go to Outkick.com/sweepstakes.
The biggest night in college hoops
is coming back to Indianapolis.
1 lucky fan and a guest straight into the building.
Flight covered.
Hotel
covered. Your 2 championship tickets
covered. Go to Outkick.com/sweepstakes.
Get in on all the action. There is no story, there is no human being that personifies Kentucky fans better than this one. The Big Blue Nation, stand up. These are your people. A Daviess County, Kentucky man has been arrested after authorities allege, listen to this, he engaged in sexual activity with a deceased deer. A deer. A dead deer. A carcass on the side of the road. Welcome to Kentucky. Anyway, according to the Central City Police Department, a driver traveling through Muhlenberg County called 911. Listen to this. After reportedly witnessing a man appearing to have sexual intercourse with a dead deer along the roadside. Let's get a look at our guy right here. This is Kentucky. Look at this poor fella. Now, I feel bad making fun of him, but my God, if you're going to screw a deer, at least make it a live one. I don't think that's too much to ask. Who drives by a deer that's dead and goes, oh, man, I got to have me some of that. Hey, baby, how you doing? My God, responding officers located the subject. He was covered in the animal's blood and fur. He was identified as Alan Osborne. Alan Osborne is charged with sexual crimes against animals. Let me ask, if we could bring you in, Davey. You're driving down the side of the road, and you see a guy having sex with a deer. What do you do? Like, what's the move? Just simply call 911 and keep it moving?
You have to, Dan. I mean, I also have to question whether or not the what's his name, Alan Osborne, like that guy's got to be high on meth. But if I'm the guy driving by and I see that, I have to think I'm high at the same time. I can't be like, no, this is something I'm actually watching in real time. It's like, did somebody slip something in my drink before I left? I don't know. I get out of there, man. This is deliverance type shit.
That is absolutely deliverance. I mean, deliverance scared me to the point where I don't even want to go in the woods. But man, oh man, driving down the street and some dude is sitting there humping on a dead deer. I'm with you. I'd be checking my pulse. I'd be doing like, okay, I'm here, right? I'd be thinking I'm out of my mind, Davey. You got to. That's a perfect point.
Dan, one time when I was in high school, I was driving home, and there was a guy passed out drunk in a ditch. I thought I found a dead body. And that scared me, let alone seeing a guy just actually having sex with a deer. But the question is, like, are we sure the deer was dead first? Like, that's the other thing, too. Is like, I've not seen, like, did he actually kill the deer? But to your point, yeah, it's... I mean, the questions that come to mind just seeing something so outlandish, it's you have to question humanity at its most minute point.
You do. We will get our crack staff on this and follow this story to see, well, Davey's questions. Did the guy kill the deer? Was the deer dead? Did the deer kind of, I don't know, feel good for the guy? I can't wait for the testimony. That's what I want. I hope this goes to a jury trial and the guy's up there going, yeah, you know what? The deer looked pretty damn good, All right. Thank you, Davey. Let's woke a dope. Unbelievable. Good for you, Big Blue Nation. Woke a dope. Woke a dope. No one is illegal on stolen land. You know nothing about the real world, Ricky Gervais, except your little award. And F off. Has anything truer ever been said? I do not think so. You know nothing about the real world as you live in your gated community in your house that's on stolen land. And F off after you get your award. Next. Democrats, we trust the science. Also Democrats, yeah, so we believe kids can become a different gender and, you can abort your baby up to birth. You don't agree? Transphobe, Nazi bastard. You rotten hell. I got to tell you. Being called a name by these idiots is like it's just a day ending in Y. I mean, the psych, the gaslighting, the nonsense, the stupidity that liberals just get a good candidate. Work for us, and you'll get elected. Next. Every single person, when Mondami explains nothing, will be free and taxes are going up. I told you so. Nothing's free. Taxes going up. That's not what he ran on, is it? I do not think it to be. And everybody just sitting there going, really? You didn't see that one coming? You really bought into like free buses and free everything and we're just going to tax the billionaires and that's fine. You really bought into that stupidity? You did because you elected this idiot. It's amazing who we elect. Last thing. Yesterday on my afternoon show in Indy, I announced that if Indiana basketball lost last night to 3-13 Northwestern, I was never speaking about Indiana basketball again this year. I'll start it up next year, and I'm holding on to that. Last night, my school, Indiana, a place where I proudly served for 17 years, did everything the absolute right way, not always in a winning way, but absolutely the right way. Embarrassed itself like I've never seen it get embarrassed before. At home, 3-13 Northwestern, 13-point lead, second half, and you blow it. A lot of people are going to blame the referees. There was an obvious foul that was missed late. Hey, that's great. That's wonderful. But I'm done. It's over. I'm announcing my abstinence from speaking on Indiana basketball this year unless they make a Sweet 16 run into the NCAA tournament. If they get into the NCAA tournament, which now looks dubious at best, I will not talk about their seed. I will not talk about their chances, only until they make the Sweet 16. Will I talk about it? I have defended Darren DeFries, his kid, and everybody else. Not anymore. Darren DeFries' kid, nice kid, Tucker DeFries, is crying in the press conference after. Dude, let me tell you something. I turned the ball over, one of the most famous turnovers in the history of Indiana basketball, minute 18 against Virginia, up one. I spun dribble. A guy named Kent Needleman stole it, went down, laid it in. I hit a shot after. I always preface that. And we lost the game. Nobody blamed themselves more than me. You know how I handle it? This is very sexist, but it takes two to tango. We got back to Bloomington. It was spring break. I went to a bar, had 73,000 drinks. Hot girl came up to me. That's how I handled it. I didn't cry. I didn't bitch. I didn't moan. I handled it like a man, period. And if that's misogynist, blame the girl. I was just sitting there with a couple buddies minding my own business. And sit there and cry because we lost to Northwestern. Walk like a fucking man, Indiana basketball, for once. 26 years since they fired Bob Knight, one Final Four, one Elite Eight, only 3 Sweet 16. I think 2 Big Ten titles, 0 conference tournament titles. Suck it. I'm done. Dakich on Indiana basketball. I'm out. See you tomorrow.